Like Deputy Rabbit, I'm not involved in the Transport Committee, and I suppose I felt that these issues should be left to those who are on that committee. But I felt, having come in here tonight to listen to the debate, that I would be a hypocrite if I didn't make a contribution. I have to say, as somebody who takes a drink, I would say let the drinker who is without sin cast the first stone. But the whole issue here centres around responsibility, the need where I think young people, to a large degree, are setting a trend in terms of where you go into your local pub, where you see they have a designated driver, and a sensible approach in the main has been taken by them. Obviously, there are always those who will flaunt the law, but I think the debate here tonight centres around the issue of the penalty. And I, like Deputy Cahill, would be of the view that, as you know, Minister, politics is about the art of compromise. And I do believe that Robert Troy's amendment of the 5 penalty points and a £500 fine will set a trend that is a compromise between automatic disqualification and indeed the current 3 penalty points with a €200 fine, and that we should see how that pans out. We would be unrealistic if we didn't listen to the advice of those who know, who will tell us that impairment, and I know it myself and anybody who takes a drink does, that again your body mass, what you've eaten and all the rest of it will dictate your ability to drive. But ultimately the 50 milligrams blood alcohol level will certainly is recognised by all of the proposals that are on the table. And I would just say, in the interest of rural communities where others have alluded to rural isolation, the need for people to socialise, that there would be a continuation for those who are not in a position to get a taxi at a fiver home within both urban and indeed some rural areas. But isolation, where you have to even consider getting a taxi, where you won't get them at a late hour of night, I think is wrong to penalise those people. But by setting the marker a little bit higher, which is the 5 penalty points and the €500 as proposed by Deputy Troy, is a reasonable compromise, while accepting that drink does kill. But I mentioned the word responsibility. The vast majority of people out there are responsible in relation to their drinking habits. And I do believe at this late hour, Minister, that there is room for compromise. And I would encourage you to accept Robert Troy's amendment.